Hey, so have you ever been in the middle of a shift and you're not sure what to do, or you're not even sure if you should do anything? Then this message is definitely for you. So I want you to stay tuned because we're going to talk about if you are in a season shift, the things that you should be doing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We are here with another episode of Morning Inspiration with Friends, and I thank you for joining me. And for those of you that are joining on a replay, hashtag replay so that I know that you were here, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube. So today's conversation is a continuation of yesterday's. So yesterday we were talking about transitioning. We were talking about delays, right? In your waiting season, sometimes it might feel like a dry season and God might be using you for a blessing for someone else. So that was yesterday's conversation. Today, I want to talk about the shift seasons, right? When you're finding yourself in the middle of a shift, what do you do? Now, for most people, when they feel like a season is shifting them, they actually get really afraid and they're like, I have no desire to do anything related to this. And that actually is one of the downfalls that many of us have. We have to be able to identify what is this shift, right? What is this that is, what is God calling me to do? What am I supposed to pay attention to? Is it time for me to change my job? Go into isolation, come out of isolation. Like there's just so many formulas of how your shifting season can actually what it could reveal to you rather. And so I want to talk about this because I also have put up a post over the weekend. If you are on my Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Tanisha Shanae. And I have put up a post this weekend. Are you in a shifting season? So this post is actually up. And for my YouTubers, I'm going to put this post up there as well as a post because I feel like this is a topic that so many people don't talk about. And so when people end up in that middle of the shift, they don't know what to do. They're like, I'm confused. So I'm going to share this post as well on YouTube, and I don't think I shared it on Facebook, but I'm going to share this. Are you in a shifting season? So this is what we're going to talk about a little bit more this week. So let's dive right into it. So the first thing that we have to make sure is that when anytime that you're finding yourself in discomfort or uncomfortable season or uncomfortable situation, 9 times out of 10, that is a divine indicator that there's a shift happening, right? So I want you to think about this. Have you ever been in a situation where, think about your job, you know that this job is stressing you out, they're not paying you enough. Every time you put in a PTO request, good morning, Bola. Every time you put in a PTO request, they're denying it. Like you're just having a lot of struggles with this particular job, right? So you're already feeling this, right? You're feeling this, you're not happy, you're not satisfied. And then you start hearing talks of either there might be a layoff, right? Are they going to lay off people? And so you're just like, that is an indicator that God is going to it's going to start shifting some things. I remember when this happened to me at my first job outside of college, right? After college, I worked at a major bank. And I mean, everything was wrong. I had a mild stroke. They treated me horrible when I came back from my sick leave. And I mean, to the point where it was just like they made it seem as if I was in Tahiti somewhere or Bora Bora just hanging out when I was actually home recovering. And so I just had all these feelings. And I knew God was like, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. He was giving me business ideas. That was the first time I ever had any idea or any feeling of being a consultant. I wanted to be a management consultant because what I did see firsthand, including for myself, that there was really no ever any training for new managers. Everything was always for leadership and then for like the people who just started. And I was really passionate about helping young new managers because I was only 22 and I became a site manager over 5 sites in this corporate world that I never had experience of. So I didn't really know. I was winging things, going to Barnes and Nobles, buying books, because I'm like, someone has to teach me this. Even after I got my MBA, there was still things that I was just like, I didn't feel prepared for. And so I was having all this discomfort, like, all right, all this discomfort. And I wasn't paying attention, right? We get so we blind ourselves from seeing all these signs. And then next thing you know, I got laid off. And so I remember having this conversation. He does my taxes. So it's my homeboy for many years. And I remember us having this conversation. And he was like, T, you should have been left that place. Like, nothing was aligning. Everything was wrong. They did not appreciate you. They didn't even want me to have the position. He was like, so this was the indicator that it was time for you to leave, and God just had to push the brakes, push the gas on there, because you were not doing anything. Right? I'm trying to brake, and God's like, push the gas. It's time to go. Right? So it was uncomfortable. And all God really did was make it even more uncomfortable, because it's like, okay, now you're free. Now you're not a part of this bondage. And guess what? I'm going to be honest. I did not know what to do. Right? So I wish that I had this knowledge. I wish that I had someone like me, or was out here, back then YouTube wasn't as big as it is now. But I wish I was able to stumble across a message like this that was telling me, no, if you're getting those feelings, even before the big moment something happens, well, your mindset is shifting, you're starting to feel uneasy, you don't feel happy, you're not satisfied, your habits are changing, good or bad. Right? Your environment literally is like speaking to you. Your body is like not comfortable here. We spoke about that last week. Paying attention to how does your body feel in certain environments. These are all indicators that many people ignore. So when you ignore that, just know that because you're not willing to take the steps, meaning you're not willing to go into prayer and talk to God and say, okay, God, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling the discomfort. Something's about to happen. Can you please guide me? Give me the guidance so that I can go move forward. I always say, many of us, we do have this bad habit of waiting for God to do it instead of us doing it. Right? So that's why when they do see people like myself, when I finally got to that level of understanding and hearing God and hearing him clearly, when I quit my job in 2015, this is the reason why people didn't understand that. They're like, well, God will never tell you to do this. No, God will tell you, right? And Bola just said this. You have to be self-aware and spiritually aware. And the spiritual awareness was what I was missing, right? I was missing that. Like, I was aware, because the good part was people like my homeboy, they were in that like minds setting. Like, that's still one of the people to this day that I can call, and we can have those types of conversations for hours, right? But I didn't have that spiritual awareness. I didn't have that spiritual faith. I didn't have any of that. This was back in, I finished college 2005. So we're talking about 2007 that I'm dealing with this. So God had to say, okay, I'm gonna move for you. You don't have to worry, little girl. I'm gonna do it for you. And he did. So be mindful of that, right? You're starting to feel these shifts. It doesn't feel comfortable. That is the time that I keep telling y'all, you got to go have those conversations with God. God, what is this? Reveal to me, prepare me, all those different things. Because if not, then he's going to do it. And a lot of us don't like when he does it, right? Because I guarantee you, every person that can always say, God did it for me, and you know what, I'm just going to be a believer. When I will go to them and ask them, was there any warnings that was sent out to you before? And they'll start telling you, yeah, this was happening. I was getting sick every time I walked in. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. So you don't want to feel blindsided, because that's exactly what it ends up feeling like. You start feeling blindsided, and you're just like, I lost my job, and we don't see the blessing that God is about to do. So I want us to pay attention to that discomfort. The second thing that I want us to pay attention to when we're in a season shift and you need to start making some decisions, some moves, is that the old things that you used to do don't work, right? So whether it's the old plans, the old tools, the books that you read and you were applying, none of those things apply in this preparation for this new season. So we have to really think about that, right? What helped you to survive in this previous season or the current season that you're shifting out of? Those things are not going to serve you in the next. So again, this is all going to happen, and you're going to have to get to a space where you're going to have to let go, right? You like how I have a little side effects, like my little. I'm such a nerd. But yeah, you have to let go of that. You have to be like, look, I'm done. I'm done, God. I understand what I was doing before cannot happen now. I'm dealing with that now. Everything that I did in my weight loss journey worked up until 2022. 2022 was the last year that I was able to, with ease, do all the things that I was doing: green smoothies, eating all this spinach and kale and broccoli. Those are my tools, right? Drinking this. And the only thing that still works is like the natural detox with like lemon water, and some mint. Those things still work, right? But because I have now developed a disorder called thyroid is hypothyroidism, which means that my thyroids are not performing at the level that it needs to perform. And so I now have to go find new tools, right? I have to now go find new ways to do things. And this is actually, I purchased this over the weekend, right? This is the healing collection of natural herbal remedies. I started to follow Barbara O'Neill on TikTok. And then it took me on a deep dive on her YouTube videos. I believe she's from Australia, but she's a holistic doctor. Everything is 100%. So I ordered that book, and I'm about to order a whole bunch of herbs. And honestly, a lot of the stuff I'm already doing. So like she said in her book, well, like they said in the book, and she does say this, with hypothyroidism, iodine. So I am iodine deficient. So I have to actually take supplements for that. But there was two other things in there that I don't have. And I'm gonna now order those things. I'm trying to find a place right here in Tulsa so that I don't have to, purchase from. I like to support local businesses, but again, I now have to collect new tools to get me through the same results. I can't do the same thing. This is a whole new season. That season, it worked, right? It did great things for me. I had great success from it. But now, because I'm in a new season, I can't do the same thing as I was doing before. The results are not yielding. I can share that with someone else. They might be in the season where those things are going to work, and they can go ahead and do it, but it's not going to apply for me. So you have to understand that it's not that these tools just don't work. Where you are headed, where you are going, it's not going to work because it's a new season, right? Winter in New York and winter in Oklahoma are different, right? They're both winters. The tools that I had in New York, Timberlands, the big puffy coats, right? Those tools don't work here. Why don't those tools work here? Because we don't get snow. There's really no need for big puffy coats. We drive everywhere. We don't really, unfortunately, we don't really walk a lot of places, which is why here's another problem. But I now have to, get like what's like the Sperry, what's the don't water boots. Don't like the little duck boots. Those will do better here because we get a lot more cold rain. Like we get rain here, especially in the winter times. So it's new tools because I'm in a new season, right? I'm in a new region. That's how I want you to start thinking about it. The last thing that I really want you to do is that these shifts, right? The shifts, how we've been talking, in the same way we also been talking about assignments. These shifts are also, what is going on? These shifts are also assignments for you, right? So we've been talking a lot about assignments. And I know some people probably like, here she go with these assignments. We're going to talk about these assignments because these assignments pop up any and everywhere. You can't run away from the assignments. God is always giving someone an assignment. Right now, he's probably speaking to you about an assignment and you're probably trying to block it out. But you may not feel ready for this new season. You may not feel ready for this shift. You might not feel ready because you're still preparing yourself to stay in that old, right? So many of us try to stay in this old. We attached to it. Like we are holding on just like one of them kids not trying to go home from the park. You want to They want to clutch to the fence. No, it's time for you to let go because you are more ready and more prepared for this assignment than you actually know. You are prepared. You're going to definitely do this and you're going to do great. This is what you have to feed yourself. I actually posted Bola, I think we had spoken, but we didn't really speak about it. But this week I'll focus on all the ways it could go right. That's the mindset I want y'all to have when you're going into this new season. That everything that I'm about to do is about to go right. This shift is going to go right. It's going to work out for me. This is going to be the best season of my life. Like, you have to know and go into this. This is why 90% of the things that we are doing and that we should be doing, it does relate back to our mindset. I keep telling people, you know, so many people right now, they can come to you and give you a whole playbook, a whole blueprint, right? A whole blueprint. They can give you all of that. They can even give you the money. If your mind is not set up properly, if you're not sitting here thinking, oh, this is going to be the best season of my life, oh, I'm about to be super successful, I know that none of that is going to work. This is the reason why we see people out here mimicking and taking people's stuff. Like, we've heard many of coaches online talk about how people enrolled into their program, got all their stuff, and then they go off and they reproduce everything that they stole from you. But the results never yield the same thing, right? The results are never going to be the same because you and that person, although they might have had all of the blueprint, because they're going to look at you as the blueprint. You're the blueprint. They got everything from you. They're going to be like, yeah, I got it. It's gold. But if they still have the mindset of, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to have anything, you know, this is not going to work out for me, they're gonna take that gold mine and they're going to still fail at it. Bola said, I've also prayed to God to prepare my heart for all he has for me. So bring on all the things I know will go right. That's right. That's right. And you know what, Bola and everyone else, that's something that, again, and I keep saying this, I went to a brunch on Saturday and I was explaining to someone why I do these morning messages. And I said, honestly, my heart, every time we have these conversations, I want people to walk back and sit and say, all right, God, you know, something like whatever. It could be one statement that I made. It could be everything. You can go back to God and sit down and say, all right, God, I need clarity on this, this, and this, right? Can you help me understand this? Can you renew my mind about that? You know, she said this. These are conversation starters that you can have with God now. That's really what I want, because, again, at the end of the day, if I was to just say, take what I say as, you know, as the Bible, as gospel, I'm not doing anything different than some of the people who are extremely religious. They just want to tell you. They want to tell you. They don't have you. No, we're not going to go to God. Nope, we're not going there. We're not going there. I'm not doing that today. So, when you feel the shift is coming, when you feel like you are in a season that things are shifting, don't get afraid. Continue to believe and surround yourself with those that are going to support you through that process. Because I understand how scary it is. It's a scary feeling to go through a season of shifting, especially one that you have never experienced, one that you have no control over. And again, I would rather you pay attention now so that it won't be as uncomfortable. Trust me, I've been laid off before, and it's hard when you keep hearing God saying, leave, 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 and you don't leave because the world is telling you don't ever leave your job. You leave when they kick you out, right? Or you leave when you get a new job. But again, that's not how God operates. So you're hearing this, and then you don't listen, and the next thing you know, you're blindsided by company being closed down, term layover. They're just gonna start fresh, or they're gonna just get rid of the entire department. Like, we've all seen these things play out. And again, when those people say to me, I mean, I should have listened to God when he told me. then you should have listened. And he just made this happen. Now you're uncomfortable. Now you're uncomfortable and you're frustrated and you're mad, right? And we got to just get to that point where we're saying, all right, God, I'm just going to learn how to embrace this. Like Bola said, prepare my heart for all that you have that's coming for me, right? So we have to ask him for that. He's going to prepare you. If you bring him along with you, he's going to prepare you. He's going to guide you. He's going to tell you no. He's going to tell you when to stop. He's going to say go. He's going to say 2 steps forward, and then he might say take a pause, drink some water. We got to just get to that point where we're just like, it doesn't make sense. Why is he telling me to do these things? But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see what happens, right? And that's all I keep telling people. We already know what it feels like to not, right? We know what it does, what does not work. We see that. We see the evidence. Like, we're living it for most people. What if we just took the risk of saying, you know what, God, I'm going to just take a chance and see, just maybe, this might be, and see how this works out with you. That's something I've been challenging myself fully. Like, if I'm using ChatGPT for something, I will go to ChatGPT and I said to myself, you're going to listen to ChatGPT to everything, right? Some people get instructions and only take certain instructions. No, we got to listen to all of the instructions. We got to be very clear. Like, God gave you instructions, told you this is how it works, told you this is how you do it, but yet you're not doing it the way he's telling you to do it. You're skipping step 2, step 7, step 8, step 10, and then you're trying to figure out why your version don't look like his version. Same exact thing. So I kept saying, I'm going to follow every single step that you're telling me to take, that you're telling me to do. You're saying, do it like this, I'm going to do it like that. And that is something that I'm learning. When you just follow through everything that is given to you, all the instructions, that's when you can honestly say, you know what, that didn't work. Because if you did exactly everything that it told you to do, and now you can say, you know what, that didn't work. You already tried that, it didn't work out for you. That's great. But if you didn't follow all of the steps, you can't say something didn't work. You can't say that. And Bola has said, yes, continue to believe all things are working, but be silent until God has you process it before telling. Oh, yeah. That's why we didn't even get into that. Well, so when I say support, people like this is support, right? You need to just be around that positivity. You just need to be around people that's building themselves up, that's speaking life to themselves, that's speaking life to you. So it might not necessarily, you could be in a space with people like mine and they don't know what's going on. You're just in the space of gleaning, right? You're gleaning. If they think about Ruth, when there was a time in the book of Ruth where Boaz told her, you go with the other ladies, right? And you stay close to them and you just glean from them, right? Whatever they're not taking, you just take. She's just in the environment, right? That's what some of us just need to be in an environment where you're like, yes, I need this, right? Because God, messages are going to come, ideas are going to flow. And again, all you can sit here and do is just take your little book, right? And like Bola said, when it's time for you to share, you're already in good company. That good company is familiar with you. You're familiar with them. You have heard some ideas. It doesn't always have to be, I'm going to go out here and tell them everything. No. You definitely have to be extremely quiet. Bola said, yes, she's in her Ruth era. Yes, Bola. Yes. We all should be in our Ruth era. And I'm not saying that in reference to us preparing for a man. There's so many principles and gems in the Bible. There's so many people just bypass, right? They think about Ruth and Boaz, and all they think about is you're going to meet your husband. Right? And so we just got to get to that space where we're just like, wait, where's the other principles? Where's the other aha moments that we can capture, right? And so Bola said, I'm in great company, gleaning, experiencing the fullness of joy. Absolutely. And that's where I want everyone to be at. Everyone, right? Including myself. I'm saying that as a person. Some days I can get real comfortable being in this house by myself, listening to God, talking to God, and I just be like, all right, let me go outside. Right? I will intentionally, some weeks I don't go outside because there's weeks like this week. It's going to be a busy week between Tulsa remote, again, I'm an ambassador for Tulsa Remote, so we have obligations to do. People are moving, so like again, because I've shared my journey on YouTube, people who are looking and interested in coming to Tulsa through the program are reaching out. So I'm meeting with someone today. We're gonna have coffee to talk about preparation and just getting some, like, her feet on the ground here in Tulsa. And I love that because so many people, they skip that opportunity to come kind of check things out, speak to the people that have been here for a little bit, and just get that idea. So I'm doing that today. And then tomorrow is a Tulsa Remote event. And then I think I'm contemplating going to a concert on Thursday, and I'm going to a concert on Friday. Yeah, no, I just be out here just trying to enjoy my little life. I'm like, I work hard. Lord, can I just go out here and have some fun and listen to some good music? So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so I really wanted to continue this conversation from over the weekend and even from yesterday. And I hope that this message has resonated, has given you some aha moments and something that you can go and sit quiet and talk to God about that. Thank you, Bola. I appreciate you so much. If this message has blessed you, you can go ahead and share it on your timeline. I always ask people, you can share it to your stories. That is a good place to go. It's not taking up space on your timeline. I would greatly appreciate it because someone out there needs this message. And look, I'm still showing up. And I think this is our third week of full morning inspiration with friends. I'm excited. I'm working on something. So in a couple of weeks, y'all will see some new changes, and I'm excited as well. But just go out there and have a great day today on purpose with purpose. Okay. And I will see you back here tomorrow. And just to let you guys know, and I'm gonna put up an announcement on my stories, but what I'm gonna start doing on Facebook is have this replay in the afternoon. So I'm gonna like take you back to the days when we had like Ricky Lake and what was that, Jimmy Jones, the talk shows, and they would like air in the morning, but then like later on in the evening they would have a replay, and I'm gonna start doing that as well. So this message will replay on Facebook, and it's always just available on YouTube. But last thing before we head out of here, to connect with me, you can go to my link tree and you can connect with me about my books, about my community, about my courses, my blog. One thing that I did add for my community, you get 7 free days. So no code is needed. If you go to my community, you just click on the link, you're going to now see the one that says 7 days free trial. That's the one that I would say you would have access to the community. And then after 7 days, you can choose if you want to continue, and it will now process your payment. Now, if you don't cancel the payment, you just didn't cancel the payment. And we'll just have to cancel it at the next referral, with the next renewal. But yeah, I decided to add that feature instead of just saying, hey, it's a promo code. Give you a taste of it, give you ability to come in, sample it, see if this is your vibe as we're continuously growing. But yeah, so have an amazing day on purpose with purpose. I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration.